turn on our microphones in another minute. Turn your microphones on. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, adequate notice of meeting has been provided. Please rise for a pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
Carol, would you
That's
please,
not the meeting.
would you please call the
Yes, I
roll?
will. Jay,
Present,
Barbara is excused.
excused.
I'm here. Carol Sick,
Here.
George A.,
Here.
George W., Jim,
Yes, here.
Bob. Present. Got you all.
Okay, in your, we have the, your minutes for the last meeting is in your packet, second page. Please take a motion, a minute, and go through that. I'll entertain any motion for any changes or additions.
Move that we accept the minutes.
What?
I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Oh, let's everybody have a look at them. I have a motion on the floor to accept the minutes as presented.
Where is 1045 Washington, where the tree removal was? I know we discussed it, but could you refresh my memory about that? 1045 Washington, where the
Yeah.
approval, and 1048,
Well, we should-
were they street trees?
Yes.
Matters,
Well, 1048 is denied.
Right.
Up here it says approved,
trees on here.
and then down here it says denied, so I guess,
Here. And they have your name in there.
oh, these were just the,
Correct
no, see, on the top it
doesn't
says
have-
approved.
it? Should I say
I
that?
think we have to correct that in the minutes then.
What?
We're going to have to make a correction because it says tree removal permits 1048 Washington Street approved, and then down below it says tree removal trimming request 1048 Washington Street denied for removal. So that one was denied then, correct? That was, I was looking at the minutes from
It's on
last.
the agenda.
See, it's on the top, yeah. It's on the, do you see where that is? It's the last one mentioned on the top portion where it says
For tree
removal
removal,
permits.
1048
Track of
Washington
that. She'd
Street,
have to
right?
correct that.
Pardon?
Doesn't Nancy put this list together, so she's the one that has the
Right.
description?
Right, but I'm saying, yeah. So what is it? Is it approved or denied?
Well, we got it
Nancy-
twice. 1048 Washington Street was approved
I
under
can
repentance,
send
and
you-
down below, tree removal permits, 1048 Washington Street denied for removal.
I can send,
So 1048 is Emlyn Physics.
hello? I
Jay
can send,
Jay, are
I
you
can
listening?
send a note to Nancy and tell her about the discrepancy,
Yes.
and then
Well-
she can correct it? Not unless, Jim, do you have a resolution?
Well, so Jay is also familiar with this. Jay, that's the Emlyn Physics estate, the day we met.
Oh, that's right, 1048.
So the problem is, there's a tree removal approval for the
The
dead
tennis
trees
court.
that, no, well, we didn't even get that yet. I have to meet him because that's another issue. Cy,
Yeah.
who's in charge of the tennis court area and all, he hasn't officially submitted a written request.
Okay.
He tried to do it through email, he said he's not tech savvy or whatever it was, Nancy had told me, so I'm gonna hand deliver him a blank. I just didn't get there yet. He doesn't want that tree cut down until September anyhow, so,
Okay.
he wants to wait until, after the
Yeah,
season's
yeah,
over
yeah,
with
yeah.
all the tennis players and all. It's right next to the tennis court, right adjacent to it. That's a whole separate issue. That's not even on here yet. 1048 Washington Street approval is the trees that are behind the restaurant in that area back there. Remember
Yes.
those dead trees?
In the swamp area behind it?
Yes.
Okay,
That's approved, and they are dead trees. That's going to be removed.
okay. But the other
1048 Washington denied is the one
the
we
trees
met with.
just to the east of the estate itself, the building
Correct.
itself.
Correct.
We met with Sarah, was her name?
Yes.
Yeah, we met with Sarah and said, have Matt Notch or somebody thin out those trees.
That's correct.
And don't take them down, and that way you'll let more light and air through.
And my
And,
written report has been submitted to Nancy. She
Okay.
already has
All
that
right.
on file.
So the details are in
All
there
right.
as to which
So
ones
there's no
are.
conflict.
Yes.
there's no conflict.
No
Whole
conflict.
thing. Okay, good.
So this is actually correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Carol
I
has
have
a,
another minor correction, excuse me. On number 7, my name should have an E on it, so it's not confused.
Yeah, the first
not
one,
Oh, okay.
the first one, 1048 Wash Street, that's for the tennis court tree. And down here, denied for removal, that's a physic
Yes.
estate tree.
Yes.
4 trees, physic estate.
right. But Carol had a correction to the minutes.
Right.
Oh, number 7.
Number 7, this is her name, so it
Should have an E on it, so
That's
it's
the wrong-
so it
not
clarifies
confused.
which Carol.
Okay,
Are you work?
You, George.
okay, minutes.
Just,
I got it.
George had a question, so I just want to answer his question. So, 1045 Washington Street. That's a shame, but it is approved because the zoning board and everybody else had already approved plans for an in-ground pool. The footprint of the in-ground pool, where it's going to go, would wind up killing all the trees and actually,
And is that the house that was constructed, it's across from the Physic Estate where they took the large copper beech down?
That's had
A number of years ago.
That had the big
Beech tree,
copper beech tree.
yeah. Okay.
it is directly across the street from the main entrance of the physical.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And it's
Well, they had-
much, it's a historical home. It's on that side yard, which
that's-
would be the west
That's
side of the
not bad.
house. And in that side yard, he had all the approved
That house
plans and
is
all. I went over this with
Yeah.
Nancy, I showed her, and
Yes.
at first she didn't see it, then once we got into the details of it, she said yes. And I said, well, I went there physically to look at this, I have photos. Where the footprint of this pool is gonna go, there's no chance that these trees will.
There's no,
Yeah.
So-
no trees?
The trees will have to come down. There's 8 trees there.
Oh.
Mostly
That's a
cedar.
shame.
They created basically a, what's the word? I'm looking
border?
for? A border between his property and the neighbor's property. And as I said, the footprint of the pool would be right at the trunk of the tree. If you'd take out all the roots of the tree, there'd be no chance that they would survive.
I thought it was bad enough several years ago, we had to let them take down that monumental copper beech tree. But they kept the tree in a big sycamore in the backyard, but when they did something for the back porch, I had to give approval, this was before you came aboard, approval to take that sycamore tree down. I didn't know that they're putting a pool in there now, too.
Yep.
Little
And
by little, there won't be any
unfortunately,
trees.
this was one of these issues where now we're reviewing the submittals to zoning board and all the other boards involved. And if we can pick up on something such as an in-ground pool and it would affect trees, maybe we can nip that in the bud before the approval goes through.
Right.
But
Yep.
this was before we're at the point where we're at now, where we're now getting the details on submittals for additions, for pools and all that, and we can review them.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was before that, because this is just pretty new that we're receiving those emails, from what I understand, right?
Right. Yeah,
And,
that's probably within the last.
And, it's gone through the whole process and all, and everything was fully approved already, so what are you gonna do at
Yeah.
that point?
Okay, I got a motion on the floor to approve the minutes for the June meeting.
As-
Do I have a second? Second by Carol.
As corrected.
Pardon?
As corrected.
As corrected. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? All right, passed. Good.
Nobody calls me till I come.
Okay,
I don't get a phone call till I come to a meeting.
Shane isn't here. Unfortunately, he was going to bring in a final copy of the changes to the shade tree ordinance. Hopefully, I can wring that out of him by next time. I want to make sure that we look at that carefully and then bring it to the next meeting, because then we're going to submit it to the city council, and it should be in final form. We submit it to city council, no changes along the way. So I want everybody to carefully read it and go through it and be able to live by it, because there's going to be stuff that we're going to have to do on that's a little bit different than what we're doing now. So, but that's what everybody seemed to want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a meeting
No,
for this?
we didn't have
Okay.
any other meeting.
I thought I missed something, okay.
No.
We got to get this thing going and
Yeah.
get it in place. And you've got a letter in your, of the letter to the people, the owners of 20 Patterson Street. Reluctantly, we let them take those 2 multi-trunk trees down, maples, but they have not submitted the $75 a tree removal fee as yet. Therefore, the permit has not been granted. So until we get that, Nancy's not going to issue the permit. All right, does anybody else have anything for the, yes?
Okay, so I have a tree on 1240 Ohio Avenue, and it's a gigantic, I believe it's a maple, and,
Private property tree?
no, it's a street tree. And it's a tree that looks like 100 years ago, Atlantic City Electric pruned it so it goes like that.
Yeah,
Okay, and
That's not.
3 branches go out almost across the whole street, and 2 go the other way. And recently, one of the limbs has fallen down, like a 20, 30-foot limb.
Okay.
The tree is healthy, but it is, I think, overgrown its location. You know, because the street lawn there is like really,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
tiny,
It's
and
enveloped.
the roots are over the sidewalk, they're over the curb, and I don't know. I looked at the tree, and the woman is concerned that she's liable if the tree falls on anybody, but I don't.
No, she's not
I don't
liable.
think she's
No.
liable.
The
Okay.
city would be liable if the tree falls on
Yeah.
something.
It's a street tree,
And it's 1240 Ohio?
1240 Ohio.
Let's take, if you get a chance, let's take a look at that tree. And let's bring it up in the next meeting.
I was going to ask Nancy to have Ron Manier take a look at it,
You can do that, yeah.
because I personally think
I just
it's got a whole section of dead trunks, not trunks, like,
Limbs.
Right, a hollow spot or just,
yeah, it's just, yeah.
okay.
But it's healthy.
Yeah.
But she's concerned because it is healthy and it is alive, that one branch came down.
Over the street.
No, it came down over the sidewalk, over her lawn. Yeah.
So it may just need a maintenance pruning?
I think it could just be pruned, maybe.
Yeah,
But
right.
I don't know whether the pruning would kill it, because it's such a
It
big.
shouldn't, it should actually make the tree healthier, if the pruning is done correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll ask Nancy to have Ron take a look at it and see
Yes,
whether
you
it
can
can
do
be
that.
pruned,
Yeah.
and then I'll let the homeowner know. Okay. I had a question about another tree, too, and this is on Madison Avenue, and it's one of the cedar trees on Madison Avenue.
Is that the one right
where
by
the
Maryland?
branch- Yes. where the
Yes, I
branch-
saw that, the branches on the street. Bob
yeah.
doesn't know anything about it. Somebody put a cone up.
Yeah, I
but-
wasn't sure who put the cone up.
So I think the tree might have been hit by
I think it was hit
something.
by a truck, that's what I think, that's what it looked like to me. I know the tree, I looked.
Yeah,
at it.
Yeah.
somebody hit it.
I thought maybe somebody coming back from Harry's Bar and Grill and had a little bit too much to drink was swinging from the branch. That was my.
Anything's
That
possible.
would take quite a bit to take that branch down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody-
My neighbor said, I think it was struck by lightning, and I said, there's no burn marks on that tree.
Yeah.
The only other thing, it did have a little bit of rot. It wasn't so extensive where I think that, heavy winds would have taken it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
But that would be the only other possibility to it.
Yeah, but it was tucked under, so it wasn't like a top branch.
It looks to me
No,
as
it was
though
the
it's
middle.
I think that's
So
what
I
it
think
was.
something hit it, box truck or something like that. And I don't, know. And Public Works didn't know anything about it, right? All right. I asked Manier to pick up the debris and trim up the tree.
And I didn't tell Nancy, because when I saw the cones, I thought Public Works had put cones around it.
Well, somebody, Public Works might have. I know.
Yeah, I'm unsure, unfortunately.
Yes,
I have another question. Going back to the trees, Jim, by that house that wants to do the pool.
Yes.
That's the big house, used to be called the White House. Maybe it still is.
The White House, I think, is the house next door.
White House is next to it.
Well, the other house already has a pool.
The new
Well,
house
it's a
has-
The new house
The
has a
new
pool.
house has,
Corner- No, this is a corner property,
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
very big home.
On
And
Washington.
an addition put on the back years ago, I was told. This owner is relatively new, and I'm pretty sure the neighboring property to the west side of the house is that house that used to have the White House. It had the
sign,
hanging sign.
yeah.
Oh, this is not Lafayette and Skellinger, it's not that one.
No, this is on Washington, directly
Okay.
across the street from the physics estate.
Okay. I read in the Star and Wave, something about a new ordinance or something about pools, which may
Yes.
affect this one.
This
It has to have
Probably
10,
grandfathered
This
in.
is well past that point already. That's pending. So
Yeah.
issues that are now pending, because I cleared that up with Nancy the best I could.
okay.
So let's just say, for argument's sake, as of now, you're a homeowner, you're looking to put the pool in, and you have gotten as far as maybe submittals and approvals, but no physical work has actually happened yet. There is a possibility, and not a guarantee, that it can be reconsidered.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be like 10 feet now.
And I doubt it, because it's.
There should
we
be
all know how
something,
the laws
because-
work. It's gonna be grandfathered in at that point.
I asked the city.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
If it's been approved by any.
You're gonna get into the legalities of it, and it's gonna get.
Regulatory bodies, even though
Yep.
construction hasn't begun, if the application's been approved.
Right.
It's not gonna be affected by the.
You have to think about the homeowner of all the time, effort, and money that was spent to get to the point that he got to.
May not
And
like
to turn that around.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at litigation, I would have to assume.
yeah.
It's just a shame about all those trees.
Well, since I have everybody here, I'd like everybody to do me a favor if you have a chance. Spilker's Funeral Home. To the left of to the driveway, your back is to Washington Street, there's a big old silver maple that doesn't look very good. So if everybody could take
Is it on the private property? Right.
Did they put a request in? Oh, they did. They put
So if everybody could take a look at it, and maybe the next meeting we'll be able to.
Take a look.
Oh, that's the one, oh, yeah.
Spilker.
Right next,
Right,
right
right,
next
I
to
know what you mean.
Washington.
Yeah.
Yep.
Canopy, it's non-existent.
Oh, really?
It's devoid.
So facing the property would be,
It's on the left side of it.
so.
You'll see.
West,
It's-
west side.
It's right
Left side
Yeah,
of
okay.
Spilker.
Yeah, okay.
And it's leafless.
Oh,
Okay. That shouldn't be this time of year, that's for sure. So,
I did speak to Matt Notch about it, and Matt said, the only way to definitely tell would be to have an arborist. Dennis doesn't want to have an arborist. So everybody could take a look at it.
Oh.
And then we'll make a decision,
Yeah.
okay. Sounds pretty straightforward for what
Yeah.
you're saying.
It is, but I think it's important enough.
Okay.
It's an established business. Well, we've been there for 37 years, I think. So we don't want to be intrusive on his business. But on the other hand, I think we just want to be careful about setting precedents.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay.
I don't see any new business or new requests for anything. Do we have any?
No. None.
For removals or, well, that's surprising.
Reviewing the new ordinance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had just shown George a photo, this is the street view of this 1011 Washington Street, which I denied, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if the homeowner does try to appeal it. I haven't heard anything yet, but they had just purchased the home, and the driveway, instead of being a full-length driveway to the back of the house, he is proposing to put in a garage, which is now non-existent, and he's saying that the tree is in his driveway. The way he purchased the home, the driveway goes roughly halfway back on the property, and there's the tree. It's a well-established tree, it's healthy, it's, one of these.
Is that a
things
cedar
where-
tree?
What was it?
Is it a cedar tree?
I think it is a cedar, yeah, it's definitely, yeah. 1011. So I don't know if anybody
It
would
was
want to take
Steenrod's,
a
I
look at
believe.
that.
I think it was Steenrod's house, where they used to have the little thing.
My submittal on my report for that was to have the homeowner continue forward with submittals for the extension of his driveway and his garage. And with the tree being considered, if he gets approval, well, then obviously the tree would have to come down. But first things first, here's an example where construction, and more importantly, approvals have not happened yet. This is just at
Right.
the stage where he would like to go forward with this. So, yeah, the tree is in the driveway, but then again, technically, as far as we're concerned, it's not in the driveway. Because he
Right.
purchased the property as is, and right now, the driveway was only halfway back on the property. It doesn't extend.
There's no,
the length of the property. So, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question, though. I wonder does Nancy ever know ahead of time when Ron Manier is going to do any of the maintenance work that we request? Does he
When he's
give her an
gonna do what?
idea?
When is,
When Ron is going to do the work request that we put in, does Nancy get any
yes. she
notification ahead of time?
Sometimes she accumulates some 5 or 6 jobs to make it worth 1 or 2 days of work a week.
Okay.
And so, we may have small.
And then how do we find out when each one is approved, completed? Thank you.
I drive by and look at the
He can't-
Well, I usually do too, but, I mean, does he send in that, I mean, I know he
Yes,
sends
no,
the bill in.
He sends
But
a
I'm
bill,
asking, does
but-
he send, like, the work order back?
Yes.
Is there a
Yes.
paper trail of work?
Yes, she keeps that up to track, pretty much.
Because the one on Perry Street, I don't believe was trimmed yet, and I know those dead trees that we had, my
Did we-
neighbor here, they're still
Who's
there.
going to take those down? The city?
The city's getting, what's the city property?
Okay.
It's a city
Did you
right away.
submit that request?
Yep,
I remember it was in the minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah. And there's at least 3 trees, there's actually 4. There's a huge one at the back of the property, a black pine that's also completely dead. The only thing, it looks green from a distance because it's all vines. So it's supporting a bunch of grapevines and different vines, but the actual tree is completely dead. And now I don't know who it would be that replants anything there. The city, I guess?
Yeah, you can stick something in there.
Okay.
All right, does anybody have anything more?
No, I really don't.
The only question I would ask, being that you brought that up, George, because I know you were very knowledgeable on that. So as of now, we have.
Okay, apparently,
Oh, wait, I was asking George, we have a stock of trees somewhere, sitting somewhere?
Yes.
We do?
Because we got the trees from Atlantic City Electric. They only planted
Okay.
a certain amount of them because when they came here, they didn't know that they were going to have to do extra excavation to place them in certain locations. So they didn't want to do that. They didn't have the time. For whatever reason, they just didn't. And they left the trees on Cape May Avenue, which they were supposed to put a few in up there, but that didn't happen. In any case, they hadn't been watered in a while, so Matt Notch picked them up because he normally does the plantings for us. So he picked them up and took them to his place, and he has them there. He's watering them, he fertilized them, and so,
Still sitting in burlap?
yes, they're still in, so they,
Okay.
but his suggestion, and I agree, is we're best off with this heat and everything to just wait until fall. We usually
many
do a
trees
fall
roughly?
planting.
When,
There's about 18 trees, I would think, something like that.
when I went by the Lansing Electric spot there, almost all those trees and bushes are burned up already.
Oh, yeah, because there's nobody watering them, so
Yeah.
they're not
Where is
gonna.
that?
The little substation there,
Oh, that whole,
everything's all burned up there.
yeah.
Oh, that's,
Yeah, and that's on the south face, which is the worst, so that's getting all-day sun there.
Yeah.
And
You know-
I guess they didn't run a soaker hose or anything for their.
Which
pumping.
doesn't make
No
any
water.
sense.
Right.
Just on a side note, and it's not in Cape May, it's in Rio Grande, but they have the substation up there, and I just happened to go past to see what kind of trees they planted there.
where?
At the substation in Rio Grande. It has nothing to do with Cape May, except for the fact that they used locust trees, which I put in as a species of tree to use, and they said, they denied that. And yet
Because-
but they planted them there right under the wires.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the rhyme or reason to it, but we were going to put them where there were no wires.
Yeah,
I don't-
then locust trees get pretty tall.
Yeah. You know,
There, you had some comments or concerns about the new trees that were put up on Missouri Avenue around the new development,
Yes.
off of Pittsburgh, the new, where it used to be the Loran station. And they put, what kind of trees in there in the street lawn? I forget.
I don't remember now either, but I thought it was kind of odd that they were even using those trees.
Right on
They're
the street.
small.
Right on
Yeah.
the street, right on, that's Pittsburgh Avenue, right?
Yeah, they've planted, they haven't done anything on Pittsburgh Avenue that I could see, but they planted on Missouri Avenue that goes toward the Sailors Monument.
Yeah, I haven't even-
They've
I
planted
haven't noticed that.
several street trees in the, trees in the street lawn. They look like red.
I don't know, and I know they planted one on, I have to take a look at that area again, but they planted one on Hughes Street, which is I think it's the forest pansy variety of redbud. It's a
Redbud,
redbud tree with
okay.
red leaves, which there's no overhead wires. If, the homeowner did that, or whoever the contractor did that before
So
it
you
was
could
sold.
plant a larger,
Yeah, but-
taller tree in there.
But now there's that,
All right.
so I guess we'll see if it's.
I forget, that was so long ago that we approved that. I made suggestions that they vary the trees that were going to be planted on the lawn and on the street. And I don't remember all what was on that contract, but,
I don't remember that. That was.
all right, does anybody have anything else?
The only thing I would add is with that short discussion of the new substation plantings on that south face of the building and basically all of them being dead. I know we don't have the authority, but do we have any way of appealing to Atlantic City Electric or,
We've been down that road already, and the city made a deal with Atlantic Electric. If they put the sidewalk in, they don't have to plant any trees
oh, really?
on Venice Avenue,
Right, okay.
okay?
But we did have the homeowner that,
And as the
in the area,
homeowners,
that's-
they wanted trees in there. But frankly, if you look at the difference between what that substation in Rio Grande looks like and what the substation down here looks
True,
like.
no, but the
I think
plantings are
they-
all dead, though.
I think they went over, I think Atlantic Electric went over backwards, frankly, in making that look
Pleasing.
like an apartment complex or
Right,
something.
yeah.
You know, I've never
the
seen that
building
before.
itself is
Yeah.
nice.
Well, I think
yeah.
they
Just,
just,
just as good neighbors,
Plant
so to
trees.
say.
Yes.
Would there be any way of appealing to them to show them that, all your plantings are now dying? Is it possible that maybe new plantings?
Atlantic
with
Electric,
soaker hose or whatever?
Atlantic Electric has been meeting with the neighbors in that area.
They have.
And the city for 2 years that I know of.
Yeah.
Maybe more, yeah. And I remember going to meetings at Congress Hall when they first planned this type of thing. And we got them to pull out, at great expense, pull out all the Leland cypress trees that were planted along that substation. And, but we weren't able to use them, they were just too big. We couldn't get
Yeah.
anybody that would haul them and dig a hole in the ground
It
and
was-
put stakes in.
It was
to-
cost prohibitive to even do that.
Pardon?
That was cost prohibitive to even
Yes.
do that because they were
I
so
couldn't
large.
get anybody who would even
Yeah.
bid on it.
Yeah.
And my shovel is only about, I haven't got an army entrenching tool, that's not gonna work.
Probably not.
All right. I shudder to ask again, is there anything more? Anything more for the good of the order?
Nothing.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and hopefully we'll have the
Ordinance.
ordinances ready to do final approvals for ourselves anyhow, next month. All right?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, second by Carol.
With an
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Mike?
Oh,
Turn your mics off.